This is the Farm Hop Life Men's Forum, a traveling homestead family. Tonight, every night, I am Matt Derosier of a Farm Hop Life, and right now we've got Christopher with us. Did you ever say your farm name, or is it just SecureCoop?
I'm just doing SecureFarm. That's my side hustle. The farm, I don't know. We never really named it. I guess Goshen is. I'm partial to that. Goshen Fields or something. But it's just a little
Sure.
1 acre for us. So
SecureCoop, Secure
yeah,
Farm, then,
SecureFarm.
and uh, and also joining us is BowTiedScapeGoat. So, you two are very recent interviews I've done. So, like, in case no one has put it together, the people on the men's forum are people from my interviews.
All right.
So
Yeah.
that's how you get in.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't like blurt racist stuff or something during the interview. That's the process.
Yeah.
So everyone
We,
else said racist stuff. That's why they're not
yeah.
here.
We passed, Chris. We passed.
so um, so one thing that we do, since you two haven't been on the men's forum before, is we used to do current events, and that sucked because I don't care about current events. Let's talk about like a personal event, like what'd you do, this weekend, this last week, whether it be homesteading, farming related, or just something personal, like hey, bought a new truck or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Go
You
ahead,
want to go
Chris.
first? Oh, I'll
Yep.
go. Okay. Yeah, we picked up some new trees, some new plants. Wife and I go on a date night to our plant man date night. It wasn't a night date visit to our plant man, and we picked up some more avocado trees. We got some. Oh, she was excited about mayhaw, and she got some mayhaws. And we have now soap nut trees. We found out they need to that you can't tell whether they're male or female until they grow, so you have to get extras just to to be sure you get one male and female. And so he said, I think he said that these are hermaphrodite soap nut trees, so we'll be able to grow our own. Yeah, so we'll be
His
able to grow.
words.
Yeah, that's his words.
I
So we'll
did
be able to
not
grow
know that was a term.
yeah, or be able to grow our own soap berries, and I'm looking forward to that. And just I took the week off from the SecureCoop development. I got hired a guy to do part of the app, and I took the week off for myself because I was just starting to get brain tied, and just got into we moved into this place in October, and just had little piles of crap sitting around the house. And I just got tired of looking at it and said, all right, I'm gonna put all that away, and now I know where everything is, and I can breathe in the room. And you just feel better when you can actually have breathing space. So it's more productive, and I got my brain away from that work for a little season. I'm ready to jump it back into it.
Good. Yeah,
Yeah,
that little refresher is always nice. So,
yeah.
how about you, Goat?
Well, last week I was down in Puerto Rico. We were down there for 5 days doing some work on one of our places. And then came back and had to get right into the garden because the garden's like really taken off. Uh,
Nice.
and so I had to go in there this weekend. I was thinning stuff out and just giving some stuff breathing room because I like to cram everything in my garden so you can't even walk. Uh,
Nice. What's doing best in your garden so far?
I would say the pole beans haven't produced anything, but the plants are 8 feet tall at this point and nice and full. Everything's got flowers on it, ready to start pushing pods. Um, that and the cucumbers I kind of crowded too much, so they got a little shaded towards the back where my trellis is, and so that's why I was thinning stuff out, trying to rejuvenate that back portion of it. So they're doing pretty well on the front side. Peppers are moving along. I got some watermelon and cantaloupe in there this year in a tight spot, but they're like going nuts as well. So everything's doing really good. Everything's doing really good.
Sweet. That's
We
sweet.
actually, my wife made we made homemade pesto last night because I have four big basil plants, And she made an awesome chicken pesto last night that was just probably the best I've ever had. Yeah, homegrown. Homegrown stuff is awesome.
That can't be beat.
Yeah. What size is your growing space, garden, all that?
So I just put an extension on for the peppers this year, so I basically doubled my size, but 23 by 13 and a half for the just strictly vegetable garden, and then the same size for strictly super hot peppers.
Gotcha.
So, and I have some like herb tables and stuff like that where I have all of our herbs for cooking and spices and stuff. And then we also have one for lettuce, spinach, and radishes. I think we have in there. That's not doing so well, but then we also have strawberries in one too. So, we only have like a third of an acre, half an acre, but
Yeah. I was going to say, it sounds like about our size.
yeah, and that was in my interview with Matt. That was one of the things that we talked about. Like space was the biggest challenge that I came into. So, you get creative and just jam pack the gardens.
Yeah.
You're going to get a little scratched and scraped by the plants as you're trying to harvest, but it's all good.
And here's something I've been wanting to try is the permaculture layers, like the ground cover, the vining, the small shrub, the tree, the vegetation, and you go, you can build that. I've been wanting to try that, like stacking up 7 to 8 layers in one space. Have you given that a go?
No, I haven't really gotten into that, too much. I just have some trellises for my vines and stuff like that. I'll grow something, maybe underneath, if I need the space, but I haven't really utilized that yet.
Yeah, so that could be a way to get you some double, triple, quadruple your space there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, Chris. Takes a lot of time to establish all that stuff.
It really does, but you just do a little bit at a time.
Yeah, that's true. Who's got time?
Yeah.
As far as like personal event here, I might do a podcast later this week on it. Baby's still in the NICU. We actually transferred hospitals today, but as far as like farm stuff, the guy that's taking over like managing the property next year when we're gone, he brought over his 20 chickens, and so now we have 36 chickens.
Oh, man.
And one of the roosters chased my kid yesterday, and so we still have 2 roosters. We might not have 2 roosters soon. We'll see. But yeah, the egg production has just been like cranked up. It's been wild. I got up at 2 a.m. Sunday morning to integrate the 2 flocks after they've been together for a couple days, and been pretty smooth sailing. Just a couple little fights, establishing pecking order or whatever. But
yeah, actually, you bring in new chickens. There definitely going to be some fights in pecking order.
yeah. Yep. So, what did I do to my mic? Or my earphones. There we go. So yeah, hustle culture. So, Goat, your community, the BowTied community, it seems like after kind of observing them on Twitter, they, at least a few of them, are very much into the hustle culture, like grind, work 20 hours a day. If you want to make it, like quit being poor, kind of attitude. So, do you feel qualified to explain what hustle culture is?
Well, I mean, it's basically just go getter. Like go do whatever you got to do to achieve your goals in life. If you're trying to be rich, like you're not going to get rich sitting around playing video games or scrolling Twitter or your
podcasts.
Well, no, I mean you can monetize that. It's like
sure.
You kind of have to find your niche, and really go after if especially for these young guys. It's more geared towards the younger generation, 20 to 30, 32, because those guys are kind of just setting their path in life, and I think a lot of it has to do with too that, America especially has just become soft, like people don't want to work. They don't want to do the hard things that are necessary. They're reliant on everybody else for what they need, as far as food, education, and, all that. And really we have all the information at our fingertips that we could ever possibly want, with the internet, YouTube videos, TikToks. If you want to learn about something, you can go learn about it. There is no limitations really, except for internet connection.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The do you have more to add on that, Chris?
Well, in my pursuit of the side hustle, as I mentioned on my podcast, also grappling with this persistent chronic fatigue. I have had to, at times, just pace myself and just trust that the results are going to come in. But almost every day, putting in at least a little work on effort onto it. And now we're like 80, 90% there. And aside from hitting numerous roadblocks, you just the stretches of my energy. I'll sit down to try to work with it, and I just don't have it together, and have to put it off for a little bit until I can get it all together. Yeah, I am hustling, not as much as I'd like, but more than zero. As I said on the last podcast, if you're, no matter how slow you're going, you're lapping everybody on the couch. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's for people that aren't insane. I think it is like always going to be not as much as you like. I don't know if either of you two listen to Gary V at all, like Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
And he's always, he talks about having like a healthy work-life balance. And even though he works like 15, 16, whatever hours a day, he still has a healthy work-life balance. But also, he's Gary Vaynerchuk. Like, that dude's nuts. And I heard like he was on like some radio show or whatever, and some guy called in, and like, I don't know if he was like actually like that energetic as well, or like just trying to match Gary's energy, but he was obnoxious. I was thinking like, if this dude like was like my neighbor, I'd move. Like, this guy, he was so just way too like ramped up, high energy, like he's, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it unless you heard it. Just like, it was too much. Like, maybe some people are just built that way to just like be annoying go-getters. But it also sounded like his family life, like his personal life, was kind of taking a back seat to him getting what he wanted. Like, he's going after it, but he's letting some other priorities slide as well. And so it's like, you're either not doing enough because you're trying to fit in all these other things like family, or you're just balls to the wall and don't care who suffers, as long like ends justify the means kind of thing.
There has to be a healthy medium.
Oh yeah. Otherwise you just get burnt out.
I've been through burnout, and you're less productive. You think you're more productive when you're just hitting it and you're just down in the coffees, and you end up in the net result of it, you're less productive. So just take your pace yourself and work at the pace you can. I do think, though, if I hadn't hit so many technical bird challenges, I probably would be done 3 years ago. But even that seems like it would be a year too long if I had full energy. But I didn't push it too hard. I just moved at a pace I could do. So
Yeah, and something that they preach, in the BowTied community with the guys is that just try and be 1% better every day. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, yeah, we want that mentality of like get out there, go get it. If you want something, you got to work your ass off for it. But like you were just saying, Chris, that there's got to be some sort of balance. You can't burn yourself out. You can't run yourself to zero.
Exactly.
You got to leave something in the tank for tomorrow.
Yep.
And
I don't
maybe,
work up late. I don't stay up late anymore.
yeah, no, and that's what they're trying to teach these younger guys too. Like, don't go out and party. You know what I mean? Like that's what all of society's doing. And you want to get ahead of all of society, don't do what they're doing. Be
Yeah.
disciplined. Come home after work. Learn something out. Get a side business going, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Dylan,
how's it going?
Good. I just got in from doing chores. I went out and found a bunch of dead baby ducks. So
damn.
Why'd
you whip them so hard?
Well, are you familiar with that term called slippage by Joel Salatin?
I am not.
Okay, so when he was leaving the farm to go work in the city before he was doing it full time, he attributed some of the failures of the farm to what he called slippage, meaning that he wasn't on the farm to thin out the carrots when they needed it at that right time, and then they're doomed to fail for the rest of the growing season, or you weren't there at that right moment when rabbits were born on the wire, etc.
Yeah.
And so this is our first time raising baby ducks, and we got them from another farm, and because they were transferred here, they didn't imprint well on their mom, and so we went through some iterations of them getting like lost because the moms weren't taking care of them. So we said, we'll just put them all together, and that's not the answer.
Damn, dude, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks.
Yeah, anyway, we had some other some mom chickens lay on a nest, and we got our first 2 chicks out of it.
Nice.
So a little bit of
yin and yang.
Yeah, yin and yang. Yeah, some failure and a little bit of success.
Nice. It sounds like so. We've talked several times, so I kind of know all the little pots your hands are in, or whatever the term is. Like you got, I think you're a pretty good hustler. With all the little things you're doing. So why don't you explain a couple of your little revenue streams that you got going on, Dylan?
Yes.
Brag a little bit.
Yeah, I'll kind of do a permaculture zones and work my way out. So
no, make it fast.
What's that?
I said no, make it fast.
Yeah. So starting with like zone 0, our house is starting to make us quite a bit of revenue in Airbnb. So a little backstory for the other guys. It's something, we have these 3 rooms upstairs in this massive house that we have. And we knew we wanted to, cash flow the property by using Airbnb. And so this winter, kind of settling into our new house that we moved into in August, just trying to, get our routines down. And, one night or 1 week, we said, let's just get 1 room done. Let's post it on Airbnb. Let's see what happens. And the day after we posted it, we got a guest that signed up to stay with us for a month.
Nice.
And that guest just left.
Wow.
She
3
just
months
left
later.
to go back to Indiana.
Surprised you didn't move in.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, just talking, a little bit about hustle culture. We squeezed that activity to get the room set for Airbnb in the downtime that we had after putting kids to bed. That's the time that we have to work on this stuff. And fast forward, we since posting our first room in March, we've had 2 other long-term rentals. One gentleman that stayed for 2 months, another gentleman that's staying with us until November, and we have 4 or 5 short-term rentals through September.
Nice.
Impressive.
So
Friggin' sweet,
We're-
dude.
yeah, we're really happy with that.
Yeah.
Before you jumped on, we were just talking about things to do, like to balance to not get burned out. And I think Goat was gonna say something about that. Goat, how do you not get burned out?
So, like when, I mean, I'm not so much hustling, these days. I'm more taking care of. We have Airbnbs in Puerto Rico. We just purchased a mountain property as well.
So you're an old retired man. I got it.
Yeah, getting there. I'm still doing projects and stuff like that. I'm just I cut out the maintenance and all that for the landscaping biz. It just became too much, and it just wasn't seeing enough revenue for it to be worthwhile to me, where I could focus my attention elsewhere. Try and build something for the future. But yeah, I mean, I would get done work, I'd kick my boots off, and I would just literally just sit in silence for an hour or two, just kind of recollect on the day, kind of mentally plan for what needed to get done tomorrow, and then I would just basically shut off. After that hour or two, just kind of go in the house, relax, read, watch a TV show, conversate with my wife, mess around with the kids, whatever. My kids are older now, so it's they're teenagers and beyond, so I don't see them too much these days. They're out socializing and all that. But yeah, I mean, I would just try and shut down every day, and kind of leave work in the truck when I backed in the driveway, and it'll be there tomorrow when I get to it. It's really the only way that you can do it. Now, that being said, during my busy season in the spring, I would pull all-nighters doing designs and drawings and plans and stuff like that, schedules for the month. But it really does, it burns you out. So I would say, my busy season would start in the end of February, early March, after the snow melt, and then I would be working 7 days a week until the second week in June. And then 4th of July is when things really started to slow down, become more manageable time-wise.
So how do you not get burnt out on your Airbnb stuff? Like when stuff just doesn't go well, like it rains, it pours kind of thing?
Yeah, so you just kind of have to realize, hey, look, I'm gonna do what I can do. I'm gonna do everything in my power to fix this. Or I've had air conditioners break down on clients, but luckily the house is nice enough, it's got a bunch of air conditioners and stuff in it, so if one goes down, there's still 3 other ones that can kind of cool the house. But I build a network of people down there that I trust and have working for us, so I can manage it from a couple thousand miles away.
You're a good delegator.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I mean, it cuts into your profits, obviously, but I mean, it's going to cost me $1,000 to fly down there, rent a car, if not more. So it's better off to just create a good network like that and be able to delegate. Don't try and, I think early on in my career, when I started my business, I tried to do every single thing. Like I would do all the work, I'd do all the estimating, talking to clients, scheduling, making sure guys were going where they were supposed to do, training everybody, dealing with payroll, you know what I mean? So there's a lot. If you're a small business owner, there's a lot of hats that you wear, and everything just kind of falls right on you. If you don't do it, then you're going to be pissing somebody off. So you definitely have to delegate when you can delegate things. Otherwise you're going to go insane. You'll go crazy. And there's points in the late spring where I was very short fused and like ready to blow up on somebody, but all right, I need a couple days off. I'm going to go up to the mountains or, down to the beach or something like that.
Not coming back.
Yeah, you feel like that. You absolutely do. But just a couple days away is a nice refresher. The mountains always really did it for me, like being out in nature, where I get to kind of immerse myself in my surroundings and not have to worry about all the hustle bustle of work and suburban life.
Dylan, how do you avoid burnout?
We just had a spell where we were absolutely burnt out. We had a power outage for, I believe, 4 days, and
oh man,
yeah, that was my first like major power outage, and I listened to the survival podcast. I'm an Eagle Scout. I should be prepared. I should have had my generator started, know how to use it before then. That wasn't the case, and we were bringing food over to parents' houses to put in freezers, and it was just a big lesson learned. The whole time when you're in that situation and you screwed up, all you can do is make a list of what you can do to do better.
Yeah.
In the meantime, right at the height of when things were just kind of hard with the power outage, my wife had to go attend a birth, and that didn't go well. In fact, it went so poorly. Not the birth itself, but just the outcome of being on call during something like that.
She's gone.
That she's gone, and the kids were missing her, which put a lot of stress on everybody. She's not going to do birth doula work anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're going to be doing retreats on our farm. So people come out and participate in natural birth education, but the on-call model doesn't work for our family right now.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So we're kind of shifting our business model, and that was a lesson that we needed to do that. So
is Ashley in the room? Is that why you keep looking over in the corner?
No. She's downstairs.
Oh, okay. I thought you kept.
He's watching to make sure she doesn't come up the stairs.
Oh no. I'm in the Airbnb room that I got to put these sheets on after the call.
She'll be like, "What took you so long to put sheets on the bed?"
I know.
That's interesting that you're shifting your focus, because that's like Ashley's whole it's like her entire persona is she's a birth doula, she's Ashley the birth doula, basically. That's all I know her of. So
right.
That's surprising to me.
Yeah, we're
tell her I'm disappointed.
Oh, what's that?
Tell her I'm disappointed.
Yeah, right. But yeah, to combat burnout, since then, so that was a time that we experienced burnout, and then how do we remedy ourselves from that?
Mm-hmm.
And what what we want to implement going forward is that Sundays we don't have any plans. And if we get stuff done, great. If not, then it's just rather there's no expectations to get anything done, but if we do, all the better. So this past Sunday, we just gardened as a family. We put in the boys helped plant tomato plants while the boys got all the tomato plants that were like stunted, and so like it doesn't matter. Go do what you want to do, and then I'll plant the ones that are healthy. But I think gardening time in the future is going to really help with burnout, because it brings it back to like why we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I guess balance is really the answer. Kind of finding joy in the small things. I do a pretty good job of that, and I know Ash would kind of agree that she needs to improve on it. And over the last couple weeks, she really has been improving.
Good.
Taking joy in the small things.
That's good. That could be hard to overlook for sure.
Yeah,
Chris, you were nodding along there.
Yeah.
About the taking off Sundays.
You got it. Yeah. I mentioned on the last podcast that I'm a born again Christian, and it's taking a day of rest. It's just so crucial. Just to there's an element of trust when you do that, because you think that you have to be on guard all the time and be going, or the whole world is going to fall apart. And there's a time when you say, okay, I'm gonna, as Goat said, I'm gonna just leave the work in the truck. I'm gonna trust that it's not gonna all fall apart, and that God has got me in my back for the next 12 hours. And going into Sunday is a hard one for me. That's one I had to learn the hard way. Just that day where like Dylan said, no expectations. If sometimes I might do some things, but only if I really want to. That has just been very rejuvenating, refreshing. I'll just kick back, get myself a nice long Sunday afternoon nap, and just feel the difference. You just feel the difference. But it does. It comes from an element of trust that you're not Superman, that you can't hold up the world on your shoulders, and you have to just let some things happen and go, let some slippage.
Yeah. I can speak to getting burnt out on not getting stuff done. When you have a 2-year-old, it's nothing gets done. So you're like, so my buddy that I interviewed and lives like 15 minutes away from me, Luke, if you're listening or watching, I'm never going to get to my fence posts. Quit asking. It will forever just sit in the yard, and weeds will grow on it, and even though they're treated, they will rot before I get to them. There's your answer. Stop asking.
Hey, Luke, go over and help him.
Yeah, no, you're a a-hole. Yeah, throw me a life raft, dude. I'm drowning here.
Come on, Luke.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's like it's like a frustrating thing, kind of like you're getting like next to nothing done, that even if you do something that almost amounts to nothing, you feel like you did something. Yeah. Just because you just weren't sitting on the couch. Like, I don't know, something dumb, like I took out the trash. Like, it's not piling out like into the kitchen or something. I don't know, just
but
dumb little
you're not doing it's not that you're not doing something, it's that you're doing something different. With a 2-year-old,
yeah, you're
pouring into them, and that just takes time, energy, and sucks it out of you. Children are like midget gasoline thieves. They just steal the energy out of you. But you're doing something, you're just not doing the things that you really think you ought to be doing. And it's just recognizing that, yeah, okay, this is important too. So
Yeah, it is. It's just it's that balance.
It's really hard when you're in it. Because we were there just like 2 years ago, and when we were in the city on a quarter acre, even to get out and plant a flat of tomatoes was like a feat.
Yep.
Like that was a lot. And then now the dividends are starting to pay off. Ted went out like by himself, unsolicited. I mean, he asked to go outside, but he came back in with a cup full of green peas, and it was kind of cool to see. It's these small things when they get older that all the work you put in. It's like you're charging up the battery, and now they're starting to give some output. Not that output is needed, but it's when you observe it, it's really satisfying.
What Dylan's talking about, everybody, is free child labor.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
That is all he wanted out of his kids.
My oldest son was out on jobs with me when he was 8 years old. It was like, take your kid to work day, and he got to get off of school and come to work with dad. And I was like, dude, listen, it's hard work. It's, we're not just riding around on a lawnmower all day. So I show up, and, my customer observes this little 8-year-old kid who's like half the size of the weed whacker going around and weed whacking this whole property, and thinking like, man, this guy is a real jerk, like hiring some little kid. Cheap bastard.
Let me tell you what going to like work day was with my dad. I sat in his office on like the 9th floor and did nothing. There was nothing to do there. He was on the computer the entire time. I'm like, oh, school was almost better than this. at least I could see my friends.
Oh, so. Dad had me folding newspapers on a paper route, but he also delivered cookies to the grocery stores. So we would load up boxes of cookies and snack a few, of course. But
fell off the truck.
Yeah, and we would go. I enjoyed that because we would go around the southeast and hit a bunch of stores in the Florida Georgia region and get a little travel in. That was fun.
Nice.
Did he make you deliver papers on a bike with flat tire?
No. I wouldn't. He had an enormous paper route. It was like 30 miles long, and just 500 papers or something. He had one of the biggest paper routes in the city. And so we would sometimes join him at 3 a.m. and stuffing papers into a bag, and he'd throw them, So.
Damn, 30 miles.
Oh yeah, it was enormous. But it was toward the beaches, so we'd go out and see the sunrise in the morning. That was nice. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
Certain things about hustle culture, are they doomed to fail? What I mean by that is, so when Uber started, it was like everybody did Uber, right? And it was like, oh, it's so profitable. Like I can quit my job, and that's all they do now, and whatever. And then there was like this big like bust, and now like Uber sucks. It sucks for people trying to take a ride, and it sucks for people like driving. Like the fees are dumb. Like you don't make as much money as you used to driving. People, it's just not very good. And then those people that just grind nonstop and then they get burnt out or whatever the case may be is like let's for the most part, like obviously there's a healthy hustle. That's what we could do. We could start a website, a healthy hustle or something. And like, is hustle culture really like doomed to fail overall? You know what I mean?
It's I don't think it's sustainable long term. I mean, there's guys, well into their 60s and 70s still out there like trying to sell stuff, trying to, create stuff, put it out on the internet, sell. So, there's certain people that can do it, but they're few and far between, in my opinion.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah. Like I'm going to do it for this amount of time, and then I'm going to take a step back.
Yeah. Like, and
Sure.
I've kind of done that. Like I've been in landscaping 20 plus years, and it's like, I'm just ready to do something else now. I'm ready to try and build something else from scratch and go from there. I proved to myself that I could do, start a business from nothing, build it up, and be successful with it. But I'm ready to do something a little easier for money these days, and that's where with the Airbnbs and stuff like that, it's still stressful and you still have to do stuff, but it's not like I'm not humping 15 yards of mulch, 5 days this week, where that was like the norm,
Yeah.
do a 15-yard mulching job in a day, and you got to get it done today, so you're working till 8:30 at night if the sun's going down and it's getting dark, but you don't want to have to come back tomorrow because you got another job to do tomorrow, and it just kind of domino effect where it just knocks off your schedule. So, but I'm done with that part of my life, doing that. I put my time in, and I'm ready to, try and use more of my brain than my body to make an income.
Nice.
Working smarter, not harder.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not I'm believe me, I'm still going to do projects and stuff like that, but it's not going to be, it's going to be kind of like more on my schedule than say the customers, where I would never say no. I would just be like, okay, I'll get it done for you. I know you're having a party Saturday. I'll be there. Now I'm like, well, maybe you should have called me in February and, scheduled it a little bit better. But, that's kind of my take on it.
I think let's take the Uber model, for instance. I think Uber was, more popular in larger cities. And so, when they expel their energy, it gets converted into dollars. And then you take those dollars and you're living city life. And I think perhaps living on a homestead is different where just by the nature of my daily actions, I'm adding value to the property and to my life. Like when I go out and just take a leisurely walk to do chores, I'm gaining beauty from the sun. I'm feeding the chickens, which is enhancing the fertility of the run and the mulch and making the compost. As I come back, I pull some greens and herbs for breakfast. I come back, and that just took 20 minutes, and look how much value I added. And I'm not hustling. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then maybe that enjoyment of that activity then allows me to, hustle further that on something that brings in, money, like the Airbnb that we do, after work and after the kids go to bed. But I think the how you hustle and the environment that you do it in is the key, because I think homesteading, that type of hustling, I think that's going to win overall.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The homesteading, you started to mention your permaculture layers of your hustle, particular hustle. I didn't hear all of them. I'm sure that you're doing all sorts of interesting, fun little things that build up. Because when I think of the word hustle, I think of the concept of a hustle. I think of somebody who's getting out there, who's not accepting life as it comes to him, but he gets out there and he just grabs it and he said, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to do it. I've got these resources, and how am I going to make use of them in a way that sort of stacks and layers up the income so that it's not just one source of income, but it's, multiple streams. And so the farmstead, the homestead, the little 1 acre, half acre like we've got, can still, feed our family. That's replacing grocery bills, so that's like an income. And then we might be able to then at some point start trading eggs and trading and selling. Jack says, sell your goldfish. I don't know if I can ever do this, but sell your goldfish as heirloom Asian carp.
Mhm.
But the idea is sound, is where you're growing something that doesn't cost you a whole lot of input. Farmers have traditionally been the kind of people who buy at retail and sell at wholesale, and so the hustler, the guy who's doing the hustle, he's going to want to reverse that. He's going to want to do value add and take the Jack described something where you're taking meat birds and you're raising them to a certain point and you're selling them. And that interests me, so I got to look into that some more. But I don't think it's doomed to fail. I think that the ones that we hear about a lot are phasing out the Ubers, the Instacarts. They're on the decline because they captured some wave of combination of cheap gasoline and regulations were favorable at the time, and then they just started to not work against them, and they a lot of that cruft. But hustle in general has been just done from time immemorial. It's always going to be done. It's always going to be people who won't accept the card that they've been given. They're going to, the hand that they've been given. They say, I could do more with what I've got. So I think it's always going to be successful.
I wonder if you made me think of something, Chris, that the means of which the hustle is done could be the problem. So, like, if you hustle for something that you've built, that you've established, that has lasting power, other than doing something like Uber, that you're working with Uber's terms, not your own. Like,
right.
Yeah, you get to work when you want.
Yeah.
But those terms and conditions are still Uber's, not yours. Whereas, Dylan, Goat, and you, Chris, you guys all have your stuff that, you're doing it on your own, on your terms. And like, Goat doesn't want to do landscaping anymore, not because landscaping.app or whatever has changed their terms and conditions. Like, he's just like, I just want to do something different. And, with the Airbnb, you're on Airbnb's terms, and maybe you can still hustle that property through your own means, make your own website, push it. I mean, it's a lot more work, but again, staying power.
You got to wear more hats.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I got an example of kind of a little hustle that we did. Kind of captures the Uber in here. So we just got a rental for this weekend and next weekend for someone who's a flight attendant. So they're going to stay at our place while they do, some shifts. So they have to get to the airport. So we're thinking, hey, could we drive you to the airport? How much would that be? And so we're kind of taking that like Uber model and saying, hey, we're just going to do this ourselves. It's going to be our term.
There you go.
We choose the fee.
Value added.
It's value added. Yeah. So bam, on top of these two rental stays, we just added $200.
Damn,
That's
dude.
that's a nice upsell.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can offer to all your clients too. Like, I thought about a place in Puerto Rico doing a either getting like a golf cart and renting that to people, or even just getting a cheap car and having it for them to rent there while they stay. So
If it's in Puerto Rico, it better be a hoopty.
Yeah. It's got to have a good sound system, and the wind has got to go down. That's it.
Live like a local.
That's right. That's right.
That'd be hilarious. Got 24. So we're coming up on time here quickly. What do you guys want to wrap up on? What about hustle culture haven't we touched on yet?
Oh, I wanted to say two things that I've kind of taken from this year in terms of hustle. I guess I'll throw in three. So the first one, John Willis from SOE Tactical talked about how he breaks up his day, and he breaks up his day into 4 6-hour chunks, and in each of those chunks he does certain activities. So towards the end of the day, when the body is fried, you can do just mindless stuff, but you're at least doing something to further your life, further the business. The second is especially on the weekends, I always try to take a nap. There's this the saying for new moms, sleep when baby is sleeping. It's hard to do when you're living your life, but whenever I'm watching the kids for the day and Ash is out doing things, I work in the morning. I'm doing stuff with the kids, doing some gardening, some other miscellaneous things, but I always try to take a nap because I always feel recharged. And I don't know where I heard it, but Winston Churchill during World War II always took a nap, because he said that it's like getting 2 mornings in one day, and he was always very productive in the morning. So I'm like, okay, if Winston Churchill can do that,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah. Sometimes I get in the middle of the day at a work day, I go off and I get to go a little 15er, and even if it's 5 seconds, it's something that like it flushes out into the chemicals and the hormones, and just I'm alive again. I can brain again.
Yeah, I really don't watch any TV shows to like decouple me from reality. The only thing that I have for that now are naps, because it's almost like a out of body experience, and then I get and then I go back to regular life, and it's great. But I will say the third thing that really helps me is reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I would during or through work, we have goals, and my supervisor said, why don't you read a book about leadership? And so I'm like, okay, this is a good opportunity to I tapped into my resource to our community and said, hey, what leadership book should I read? And John Bush is like, 7 Habits, read it, do it. And nice. I wish I would have read it 10 years ago, but a lot of habits from that book, I've taken forward into, our hustle culture.
So then you wrote your own books titled something like 7 Actual Habits of Highly Successful People.
Yeah. First one, take a nap.
Yeah. Dude, on the nap thing, like it's such a fine line with me. I can easily OD on a nap. Like if I sleep longer than 20 minutes, like I overdid it on the nap. It's too much. Like I just become more lethargic.
And then you wake up, and what year is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's something that I'd like to add to with the, closing out here, that, for if you're going to do hustle culture, if you're going to go out there and go, basically, pedal to the floor, do it while you're young. Do it in your early 20s. Do it in, before you turn 30, because once you start hitting 35, like your body's going to start slowing down. You're not going to be able to do those 16, 18-hour days like you did when you were 20 years old. So go out there, make your money, hustle, don't party. Because I think that's a lot of people's mistake. They'll go to a 4-year college to just go party their butts off, come out in debt, and then
Barely learn anything.
then they're $100,000 in debt, and they can't afford to buy a house. So it's just compounding that way. But yeah, definitely go out there, do what you can while you're young, do as much as you can while you're young. So that way, when you hit 30, 35, you can kind of start to slow down, relax, and, do something more fulfilling than, just hustling all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. There's some people that are more driven than others, but, I was very driven in my 20s and 30s, and, now I'm in my 40s, and it's like, I want to stop and smell the roses now.
Yeah. Dude, I wish I had hustled just nonstop in my 20s instead of dicking around whatever I was doing. I was still figuring out a bunch of crap, but I wish I was more encouraged to go after random stuff instead of just get a job. That wasn't helpful to me. That was so not helpful long term. Just go get a job. Cool. Now I know how to be an employee. And now in my 30s, I'm learning how do I be a small business owner? How do I this is I'm a late bloomer, I guess, or something. I don't know. But a follow-up question. Have you guys, wow, learn to talk. Are you guys coming up on your peak? Are you at your peak, or are you coming down from your peak in terms of I guess success, or I've maybe Goat, I know you're a little bit older, all right, I'm at my peak, or nah, baby, I'm still rising. This, you haven't even seen my final form.
Yeah, so I'll answer that first, if you guys don't mind. I would say physically, I'm probably on the downward decline here. But I can still go hang and do 12 hours a day if I had to. Don't get me wrong. But as far as success goes, I don't think I've even come close to my peak yet. And then
Nice.
I have very ambitious goals still. I envision having a small empire of Airbnb rentals, properties, and stuff like that. And a lot of it is just because I've experienced something, as beautiful as Puerto Rico is, the rainforest, the beaches, the culture, and I want to share that with other people. My love for nature, we bought this mountain property, and I want to share that with other people. So it's doing something that's fulfilling to me, and it's something that I'm passionate about, being outside in nature and that sort of thing. And I can also make money doing it. So I think it's a win-win for me, and it's, far more appealing than going to somebody's house and pulling weeds, putting mulch down. I don't even like doing it at my own house anymore. I love gardening and working in the vegetable gardens, the flower beds. I'm like, I just burn out from that for, doing it 20 plus years.
Yeah. What about you, Chris? You at your peak?
Yeah, peaking? No, not even close. I got the vision, and Dylan was talking about the 7 habits, and the one of the habits is to begin with the end in mind. And it's when you get that vision. And this little homestead we got was part of that vision. I had wanted my wife and my children to be self-sufficient. I'll be okay no matter what happens, but they are counting on me. I'm the breadwinner in the family, and to be able to have aquaponics and ducks and chickens and a little bit of an income that comes in, and the food's out there, and so I've got had that vision, and we're pretty close to achieving that, but I'm looking beyond that, going, what else? What's more? What's more? Perhaps with now that COVID's lifted, I could even be thinking about traveling around and setting up some things. I have some ideas. So beginning with the end in mind has given me that fire in my belly to continue push through every day. When some days, man, this is really challenging. This is really hard. It felt like giving up, but I'm going to keep on pushing through because I've got that vision. So no, I'm not anywhere near, but I've got that big picture of that homestead with the fuel is taken care of, the eggs and the protein are taken care of, the vegetables, the wife and the children are set for life, and that's been my vision. So.
Oh, we lost Goat.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Yep, not even close. In terms of animal or food production, we have yet to scale higher, more chickens. Not sure about ducks. We'll have to come back to that one. But more gardening, more perennials. More permaculture systems. We want to do homeschool events, the natural birth retreats, kind of like the baby moons, so people can stay in our Airbnb rooms. We can have put on a dance for people in our barn, and we have a lot of room to grow here.
How about you, Matt?
Yeah. Dude, I'm just getting started. Like, if you talk about like building a fire, like it's only starting to smoke.
Yeah.
Like I haven't even thrown on like any real like kindling on it yet.
Here we go. Let's do it.
There was something on Twitter recently. It was something like looking forward to 40, or after 40, in the decline or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I can't wait what 40 looks like. Because like I'll be able to look back at like now and see like what it took to get to where I'm going, and how much progress I've made and all that. Like, bring it on, dude. Bring on 40.
Yeah. And 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
That's right. I'll keel over and die at 42. So, but yeah. So, is there anything else you guys want to wrap up on? Because we're at time. Anything else you want to say?
No, I don't think so. It cut off on me, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, we actually closed the show without you.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I guess I wasn't popular. It's been fun talking with you guys. Nice meeting you, Dylan. Nice meeting you, Chris. And Matt, a pleasure as always, man.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate. I literally couldn't do this show with this version of it, anyways, without you guys. So appreciate your time. And go ahead and plug your stuff. Goat, why don't you go first, since you want to leave so bad?
Yeah. All right, take it easy, guys. Have a good night.
No, plug your stuff. Say your stuff,
plug
dude.
My stuff. Oh, what? Oh, I thought you were saying unplug. I'm sorry.
So he's new here.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at BowTiedFallGuy. I'm on TikTok, Instagram as BowTiedScapeGoat. Same thing for YouTube as well.
Nice. I'll have links to your stuff.
Yep.
Dylan, go ahead.
Everything's in my link tree in my profile on Twitter.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Dylan, say something.
He's frozen.
Yep. Yeah. So again, this is Dylan Schnese at Presence, where we lift families through an experience. And
oh no, he went crazy.
He went max headroom.
More.
Oh man, Dylan, if you're
max headroom,
can I can't, dude. Wow, stop your video and just do audio. You're going wild, dude.
Oh, what?
All right, now try to say something.
Is that
No, that was worse. Okay, so that is Dylan Schnese of A Steady
Okay.
Presence, and
Does
they
that work?
lift up. Okay, now you're better. That sounds better, I think. Go ahead, say your stuff.
Oh, can you hear me?
All right.
Yeah,
We're
okay, so
I'm just gonna say your stuff. I cannot hear you.
Where we lift.
All right. So Dylan of A Steady Presence, they do like doula stuff. They're pretty cool. I like Dylan and his wife Ashley. They're good people and they're hard hustlers. There, I plugged your stuff. I plugged your stuff for you. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, SecureCoop.com for the device that opens and closes the coop, sends notifications to your phone with that guarantee that I'll replace the entire flock. If something happens to your flock and I don't notify you, I will replace the flock up to 20 birds. SecureCoop.com. You can hit me up. I got all the socials there on the page, and use the coupon. Get the ebook there for coop protection. 40 ways to protect your coop, and use the coupon. FarmHopLife rocks.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Get the coupon, and so I'm gonna try to start selling, Lord willing, the end of this year. So get on the mailing list. So be notified.
And I am Matt Derosier of A FarmHopLife, a traveling homestead family. You can find me anywhere and everywhere on social media, and I'll have links to everyone's stuff in the show notes. So thank you guys for being here, and thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you next time. Why don't you guys hang out for just a second?
Yep.
All right.